Tim Hawkins in the morning.
10:22.
Proud to be part of your county.
BBC Radio Shropshire.
Just been hearing from Heather talking about her 10-year-old son, Matthew, starting a blog in order to encourage other boys to read. boyreader.blogspot.co.uk if you want to go and have a look at it. Now, I want you to meet David. David Mitchell, or should it be Deputy Mitchell? Good morning, David.
Hi there, good morning.
On Twitter as Deputy Mitchell, because you're a deputy head teacher at a Bolton primary school.
That's right, yeah, Heathfield Primary School in Bolton.
And you've been encouraging your kids there to blog about reading or about all sorts of things for a while?
About all sorts of things, really. Started about 3 years ago, just to try and get the children more enthused and excited about their learning. The general pattern was to have everything locked down in schools at that point, and so it was something different, giving them an audience for their work. And within a few months, they had visitors from all over the world, and I mean all over the world, visiting and commenting on posts they were creating about what they're learning in school or what they were doing at home, and it had a huge impact on their writing and engagement levels in school. It's been fantastic.
And did they take to it like ducks to water, or did it take a bit of encouragement, or indeed were they ahead of the teachers as far as this is concerned?
Well, I mean, I had a blog first. I gave myself about a month's head start on them. That lasted about a week, and they do take to it like duck to water. But the one thing about a blog is you need an audience, and for the first couple of months it was a struggle getting an audience to their blog posts. So they were swimming around a bit, thinking, what are we doing here? But once we started to get the audience there, and comments started to come in, and their flags on their little globe, when everyone visits from some part of the globe, it pings up on this globe. It's been fantastic, and they just naturally took to it and kind of expect that now, that they've got an audience of millions, really.
What sort of things do they write about, or do you encourage or discourage them from writing about anything?
We encourage them to write about anything. It's like Heather, the teacher of the child, that said it doesn't matter if they're, whatever they're reading is good so long as they're reading, and that's the thing. We wanted them to write, and our children don't think of it as writing; they think of blogging, and it's cool, and they will do it. They will respond to comments. They will do things for these comments that are coming in all over the world that they wouldn't do for me. When I asked them about that, it was one child was really gave a great answer. He said, "Well, I'll tell you why we do these other people. It's because they're real, Mr. Mitchell. You're not real. You're paid to help us."
No, you're not a real person.
I know. Well, they think they know what I'm going to say when I'm marking the work. They can predict what I'm going to put. But these people from like Taiwan, China, Australia, America, wherever, they really respond to what they're saying because it's genuine feedback from a genuine audience.
From an educational point of view, how has it benefited the kids? Literacy, IT skills, what?
Well, generally we've got the motivation for the children. They're skipping into school, skipping home. We've done lessons at home through the blogs. We've even opened the school when the school's been shut. We've opened it through our blogs in the snow. The children have been going online and been having lessons there. As far as literacy levels, it's fairly well documented about our progress levels. Our Year 6 SATS levels for level 5 in writing went from 9% in 2009 to 60% in 2010. That was the year we introduced blogging. And our children in Year 6 for 2010 leavers, 2011 leavers, they made 2 years progress in writing in 1 year each per child.
Grief.
And so, it really, they're going home, and instead of playing on their games and things, which they still are doing, they are going home and writing, blogging, as they call it, and, they're writing for a genuine audience.
And you still get some people saying, there are too many computers in schools now, bring back kind of biros and fountain pens. How do you respond when you hear that kind of thing?
Well, we've not replaced our writing processes at Heathfield. We still go through the planning stages, the writing stages, but this is an additional extra, a level at the end that they can go and do this, and they do this sometimes in their own time at home. They'll take work home, they'll sit at dinner times or play times, and they'll do that, or they choose not to, and it's entirely voluntary, and they just really respond to it. And once they've done it and had a comment that's really applicable to them, they're kind of hooked, and they're wanting to do more of it.
And you're quite evangelical about this. You're on a mission to get other kids around the country, everywhere, blogging and sharing this with a global audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really passionate about it. I think every single child deserves to have an audience for their writing. You go through a week at school, in class you go through a week of planning, preparing, studying, and then by the end of the week you're kind of writing it, the best piece of writing you possibly can. And what happens to it? Well, it goes and sits in a tray, doesn't it? And no one sees it. And what we're trying to do is get, children to be publishers, that they can publish their work, they can get genuine comments, and and that can be celebrated through blogging, and it can be done very safely as well.
You were listening earlier on to Heather. Heather's son Matthew is 10 years old, writing a blog, encouraging other kids to read. What do you think of what Heather had to say? What do you think of what Matthew's doing?
I think an absolute success story. It's fantastic that he's got parents that will see this and will encourage this. He's doing this safely through his blog with his parents' permission, and he's obviously, I had a look this morning, pulling in audiences from across the globe, and that. Will he be a better learner for this? Well, he probably will. He'll go to school with a skip in his step. He'll come home. He wants to read more. He wants to connect with the people that are interested in his voice. So it's really healthy, and it will have a really positive effect on his life, I expect.
If other people have been as enthused as, frankly, I have been from listening to you, where can they find out more, either about what your kids at Heathfield Primary are doing, or what you're trying to encourage other young people to do?
Well, we've got, if people want to see what we've done at Heathfield, we've got heathfieldcps.net. That's our school blog site. And a project I'm working on to get people connected with an audience globally is quadblogging.net. If you've got I'm speaking to your listeners now, if you've got a child and you want to mention this to their teachers, go in and say, have you heard of this? Have a look at it, and let's give the children what they deserve. As long as people are doing it safely, and a lot of guidance out there, then it's a really powerful thing to give to the children.
Okay, if you want to encourage your school to do the same thing, heathfieldcps.net. Find out more about what David has to say about this at quadblogging.net. David Mitchell, great to talk to you. Thanks a lot for that.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, David. Thank you. Bye-bye.